You guys know me, man. When there's a unit I like, there's no limit to this Glaze. Trunks' animations are phenomenal and we have to break them down. I've done this for a lot of units. I don't do it for every unit. But if I'm breaking down a unit, it's either I like them a lot, they broke the bounds of animation, or it's just a hype period, so I kind of just have to. Even outside of Trunks being my favorite character in Dragon Ball, his animations are actually really good and it's worth a video. Okay, so without a doubt, the best way to break things down is to just react to it, but we're gonna go through it and pause a bunch. I've got a bunch of pausing to do, so I don't want to hear no,
"Oh, Zach just played the video."
Why don't you just summon and get him? Then you could watch it as much as you want the way you like. How about that? Alright, cool. Ultra Super Saiyan Trunks adult arrives. I'm not gonna go into what they're explaining here because it's just their kit stuff, but let's actually watch this video because for some reason on the official trailer that they put out, they just cut out the ink and they just start with the eyes and go into the animations, which is very bizarre, but you know, it is what it is. Everyone sees this when they open Legends anyways, this part here, but we're gonna really focus on the ink first. Alright, I like that they started with the ray of light. I know I paused already, but the transition into the background already being set, I think it's great. It's a great start. It's a great decision because they could have went a lot of ways about this. They could have started with the sword shining. They could have gave us a close-up of Trunks. They could have gave us angles of different people first, but they decided to start with the ray of light because this is the symbol of hope for his universe. He is the Goku of his timeline. We got to keep it in. Lock in, lock in.
That's when we can do anything. Helping our fellow man to
now they're showing all the others in the area. Look at this.
What makes us worthy.
Now, I think it's very evident that they have upscaled the quality of the ink art. Like, this is phenomenal. This is like how Ultra Instinct signed Goku. He's an example of the highest level of ink art in my opinion. His ink art isn't exactly long either, but the detail in the characters is really good. Super Saiyan 4 Goku that we got in the 2025 festival as well, he also has a high level ink art. We've seen it also, if I was to include another one, maybe Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. That's also a very good one as well. But like, very evidently, how they done the colors here, and I say colors when it's all pretty much black and white, but they've added an extra glow here to Bulma, and that adds extra depth in making this feel like, yeah, it's a starry night and everybody's putting in their energy for the Sword of Hope. I think they executed that amazingly. You know, if you just look at the surface, it's like, wow, this looks amazing. But why does it look amazing? It's because Bulma's glowing. There's all the sparkles, the rays of light in the sky. There's also the animation, so like you can see all the energy for the Sword of Hope is building up. We've also got Mai here as well with the same effect, and I think it's a lot more apparent with her because she's wearing darker clothing, especially in comparison to Bulma, which is a nice touch. And just the shading in general with her whole outfit, they literally went all the way in. You can see all of these, you know, I'm not an artist, but I can pick up the details. You can see all of these strokes and brushes that really add detail to Mai as a part of the ink art. And then she even gets the close-up when they're looking across. Even she's saying amazing because it is amazing. Then they go back to focusing to the ray of light that we saw at the start. So they foreshadowed it. They showed us the scenery, they show us the characters, they show us the sky, they make the characters glow, showing how the build-up is going to be. Then they go back to the ray of light.
In from every living thing in this world.
Go into the energy, the whole thing put together. Lovely, lovely, lovely.
This is the power of mortals fighting for each other.
I like that they went with the simple eyes. I find with some cases, right, they try to do different things, but I really feel like the eyes being simple like this, it's gold, you know. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let me know how you guys feel about that in the comment section. Me personally, I like it when it's just the eyes like this. It works every single time. I'm going for it. I love it when they did it with the first time with the free-to-play Super Saiyan Goku. I don't think they should stray from this because it just works. If they went and tried to add like the sword or like any other extra body parts or any other transition, it never really feels as smooth. But when they stick to the eyes, it just hits a lot more different. That's nice. They did the little sword thing there as well, so they actually added two, and that one was actually smooth, but it's not always smooth. So I think with just swords, or in this case it's just Trunks, you know, it hit different. Usually when they try certain things, it doesn't hit the same in my opinion. It doesn't feel as smooth in transition. Maybe certain characters do for you. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but yeah. One thing I also would like to point out, I've spoken about this a lot of the time with Ultra Arts, right? You can see the art, it just looks good. in this case, they haven't really focused on a background. Some characters get a background, some don't. Some characters just have a platform. I think UI Goku has a platform. Golden Frieza has a platform. I also believe that UVB and UGB has a platform, and some of them have backgrounds as well. For example, Majin Vegeta has a very, very obvious black background. It's where the tournament was being held. In this case, it's just a plain background. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of that. I think I would have liked to see like buildings or something, you know, to add more depth and detail in the background. But in general, something I wanted to mention that I was going to get into earlier, when it comes to the ultra arts, right? Some ultra arts, you're going to see when they do a close-up, they should do a close-up. Here comes the close-up. Now, very evidently, when there's a close-up, not with all, but a lot of them, it feels like the quality of the ultra dips. And if you do any photo editing, you'll know why this could be. A big reason is probably because of compression. They don't want, you know, every single art in the game to hold like 5 gigabytes. We'll be playing Dokkan Battle. If you guys don't know, Dokkan Battle is like a 30 gigabyte game. It's outrageous for the type of game it is. But Legends, they're compressing a lot of the arts. So I think what they do is they work with smaller files and then stretch them. So when they actually zoom in with the animation, it makes it look lower quality. Like you can see here, the edges are really like, you know, it doesn't feel upscaled. And since it's their art, you'd expect it to be higher quality. Obviously, when it's zoomed out, it's fine. And this is obviously a video, so it'd look better in game than you are seeing it in this video. It's just an MP4. But I think even in game, there are a lot of arts that don't really feel high quality, and that's just as a result of downsizing, compression, so the game doesn't actually take up a bunch of space on your phone, because there's a lot of characters in the game, so they have to do that for almost every single character. So I don't like seeing it, you know, the low quality, but I understand why they do it. It's just something that I wanted to point out because it doesn't feel good seeing the low quality. Even if you play on the highest quality Dragon Ball Legends that you can, you would still have that issue. It's just the way they've put it into the game. But outside of that, the art decision, how do you guys feel about this? They could have gone for multiple different angles, poses. They've decided to give us kind of a head on Trunks, and they've made the sword a very big factor. So it's like, you know, at this angle, and I think the angle that they've put it at is very good. I like the pose overall. I'm not a big fan of the effects. I feel like they're moving too fast personally, but the close-up I like a lot because it really shows how much energy is radiating from the Sword of Hope, you know. So overall, I think it's a good art. I'm not gonna give it like a 10 out of 10. I'd give it like a 9 maybe at best, 8.5. I think it's overall good. It's not bad. I'm not gonna say, oh, it should have been so much better. But I think if they wanted to make it better, they should have definitely added some background to it. Building of the future being destroyed, or at least the sky like we saw in the ink. In regards to the ink, I already explained it's great. I'd say it's one of the best inks in the game. I'm not gonna say the best outright, but it's on the upper end, closer to a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. Even though it isn't very long, there is a lot of detail in it, and the quality is very much so high than a lot of the things we've seen. Like all these sparkles, like you don't really feel them, but it makes you feel like you're actually there in a sense, and it's poking out. I love this. I love this ink, man. I love this ink. But yeah, the ink is obviously much better than the final art in my opinion, and the final art is still really good. And I like how they did that transition there. I'm just not a big fan of the effects too much, and I feel like they could have done more with the background. But let's actually get into the animations now. Alright, so let's get into the animations. I also should mention the voice lines are amazing. I like all of them. Nothing much more to say about it, but the voice lines add a lot of layering to the overall animations with the art, the ink, etc. But let's get into the actual animations, the gameplay, what we're gonna see all the time.
I'm the one who has to do it.
There was so much there already. I'm not gonna lie, this might seem like outrageous glaze, but there was actually so much there. Real talk, like I'm not even trolling. Alright, so they set the stage right with Mai handing Trunks his sword. Look at the detail on Trunks first of all. The ripped clove, you know, the bandana, even the detail on Mai. I'm liking it. I can't tell if they're new models. I don't think they're super new models, but the hair does look good as well.
I'm the one who has to.
And then even the facial expressions, there's going to be a lot of that in this animation. Very good. And I like how they incorporated the ground already. That's something that you need to be picking up on because it's something that we've only got recently. They're incorporating the ground very heavily to make these animations feel a lot more like the anime. And then the power up here, come on, the way the aura just explodes, that is clean. It happens so fast, you don't really pick it up, but this is phenomenal, man. Legends is so good. When they're doing good stuff, they're so good. Anyways, little ting. Hey, foreshadowing again. It's about to go crazy. Like I showed you at the start of the ink, and with his kit incorporated with the Final Hope slash, they're all putting it together for you to power up this sword. Oh man, let's go. Just good animations here. So he's put his key into the blade, obviously, so he could form the sword because the sword's broken. Alright. Animations there are nice. I've spoken about this numerous times, but I really like it when they don't do a bunch of cuts. So in this case, there's no cuts. You follow the fluidity of Trunks with the camera, so it's just going... Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I love when they do that. Trunks is doing hella flips. They've shown like the wind around him to show that he's flipping if you can't pick it up. They kept the camera angle. Zamasu's big self is blocking the whole camera. And then when he lands, there still isn't a cut. They just move him out the way. The cameraman goes, he moves to the side so that Trunks can come in with the slash. That's clean. There was like 2 slashes there before they cut, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2. I don't think those are cuts. I think those are fast moves. But regardless, they're so like fluid that you can't really tell the difference regardless. And then they do 1 cut for the final slash. A cool 3. I really do like how his sword is consistently active. I love it when sword users, and I think again, swords are like the coolest thing you can get. It's the reason why Demon Slayer is so popular out of the blue. Swords are always cool. They're the coolest thing out of like any type of fighter you can get. I think they're cooler than kunais. Ninjas are close second, but I think they're cooler than ninjas. Even when you get ninjas using swords in One Piece, all the sword characters are very popular. Mihawk, Shanks, etc. Swords just hit the spot every single time. That blast attack is actually really clean. He puts the sword out so he can... That's tough. You know, nothing more to say about it. It's just nice. Just a Dokabaki impact. Showing us Zamasu winning. The colors are very vibrant. I'm loving new Dragon Ball Legends right here. The colors are super nice into the facial expressions. And I think the way they've done the colors, it's slightly different than how they've done them before. Or maybe I'm just like glazing here. But I think it really makes his eyes, the green in his eyes, show a lot more. Not just the hair yellow, but I'm talking because of the sword. Everything's glowing, so then the green pops out a bit more. Maybe I'm crazy for saying that, but I think it's very apparent, especially in this shot. And when they give us this close-up, the green feels so vibrant. Here comes the ult. Comes in with the kick. Backwards kick, by the way. And then he uses the momentum of the kick to swing his sword from down below upwards. Then he goes in with a barrage of slashes. That transition was crazy smooth. Hold on. You guys even see. So he's coming in with the slashes. And before you know it, he's slashing. But it's like he hit a teleport. Quick. Look, freeze frame here. And he's already through. Nice. Get some space. Hello, Misenko, one hand.
I believe in you, Trunks.
The final hope slash this part here. Again, just like with the ink art, when they add this white glow, they're really showing a lot of the energy coming through. I think that is a very nice factor to make it look appealing. It's why it looks so good overall. The Legends Limited already looked good. The sparking from the 2021 Legends Festival, one of the best, if not the best celebrations of all time, by the way. Now he's got the blue aura, and we all know how they've been doing these auras recently. We have the ROF boys. What other units have good aura off the top of my head? Why is my head gone blank? No, don't do this, don't do this. The ROF boys, God Goku and Hit. There you go. They have a lot of aura. Like, I'm talking literally, not like aura farm like Piccolo. I'm talking the key aura around their body. It looks amazing, and they've been doing that a lot more. Makes the game feel a lot more immersive. Same animations, but just showing you with the blue sword now, because the Sword of Hope is prepped, or is prepping. You're in the prep time right now, and also Trunks' aura. Let's see this animation go off.
Here we go, everyone! We'll defeat Zamasu!
Yeah, the colors are just crazy now.
Fighting for each other! The power of believing in something bigger than
I think they really got down how it looked in the anime. Obviously, we're dealing with 3D models here, but I really think they got it down well with like the vibrant blue on the blade as well as his body all being synchronized.
for each other! The power of believing in
I don't feel like the animations are like all that great, but I really think like they did it really good with the facial expressions. If you look at Trunks' face,
something bigger than just you!
like right here, I think that's a very nice touch, especially with the angle that they went at. It shows that he's trying hard, man. Trunks is a fire.
We did it, Trunks.
And they give Mai some screen time, you know. Talking about we did it. I guess they all did it though. But again, the facial expressions really hit.
Time to start rebuilding a new world.
But you see how the future's destroyed and it looks great. I think that would have been a nice touch for the ink again going back. But overall, amazing animations. They really just turned it up a bit, especially with the ink. And I wonder what they're going to do in the future with other Ultras, because this is just a March Ultra. Nasty. I noticed that when certain units release in Dragon Ball Legends, a lot of people come back, and especially because I stream Dragon Ball Legends, I noticed certain viewers that haven't been in the stream for a long time literally appear out of nowhere when it's certain releases. Typically Fusion Warriors, so Gogeta, Vegito, future units, so in this case Trunks, but Goku Black's a big one people come back for. DBS stuff specifically, so UI Goku. And when people come back, they show large interest for what's new, and that's coming from people that don't play the game anymore. And I think the fact that people do that, it shows that the game still has a lot of value, at least enough for people to be curious as to what's happening in the game. I feel like when people usually quit games, they actually just leave the game behind. They might check on it just passing by, but they wouldn't log in to try get the character and then go off the game whenever they're done with the character. Logging in and taking the step to play, because you know overall the game can be entertaining, maybe not always to you, but the animations, the visuals, and the effort they put in clearly show when we get a unit like this. So that's why I love making videos like this, really breaking down and highlighting the positive nature of Dragon Ball Legends. Good stuff here from the devs. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name's Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.